morning from Skye. This is day 3 on Skye. It is quite a wild and windy morning, and it looks awesome, but there's really kind of low hanging cloud. So I'm heading up to the Kerrang. It's a wee bit later than I was yesterday. It's 20 to 9, but you know, it's winter in Scotland, so it's just starting to get light now. But hold on a minute. Right. Skye's potholes are quite extreme. Definitely a suspension engineer's ideal location to live. You'll never be out of work here. Yeah, so as I said, it's quite a wild day, so it wasn't brightening up this morning at all. It didn't have the same sun rise that we had yesterday. So it's more of an atmospheric kind of photo shoot at the Kerrang, if I can see the Kerrang. I'm not going to be staying too long up here, because I don't know. I think conditions are actually going to deteriorate rather than improve over the next hour or so. So that's why I want to just get up before it gets a wee bit too miserable. But it's looking pretty awesome though. Hopefully I'm out the wind. I'm actually going to duck down a wee bit more sheltered. So on the way back to the van, I actually spotted this nice view here, which is a running stream. Right at the end of the stream there is a tree, and in the backdrop you've got this really nice kind of heavy cloud that's hanging over the 2 locks that are situated down there as well. Managed to get both locks in just on the edge of each of the composition, with the tree in the middle. It's a wee bit far away. Ideally I'd like to be closer, but you'll end up cutting the locks in half and it'll look a wee bit bizarre, just kind of big white splotches that are halfway out the scene. I'll try that anyway, but ideally going down a wee bit further might make the shot a bit more workable. That was pretty wild out there. Good though. Not much of a view of the Kerrang, unfortunately. The majority of the kind of focal points were covered in low-lying cloud, and it is drizzly, which is a pain when you're trying to photograph, because it kind of you're not going to bring out the filters and things like that for long exposures. It's windy. I can cope with the wind, but it's that constant drizzle. You just can't keep either the glass and the lens free of water droplets, which is a bit of a faff trying to clear it and all that kind of stuff. So I sheltered it as much as possible. Kind of had to work the scene quite a bit though, because the main kind of focal points were covered. So I looked for other kind of interesting features, of which there are plenty up here. There's certainly no shortage of that. That last shot I took of the tree, I'm kind of hoping that will be the standout shot of this excursion. The tricky aspect there, I was trying to explain back there, I don't know if you could hear me because of the wind, I've not checked the audio yet, but there's 2 locks situated behind, and you either don't want any of them in the scene, or you want all of one or both in the scene as well. If you're kind of starting cutting bodies of water off the edge of a frame, it looks a bit weird. It's just, because fundamentally they're just kind of blocks of white then with a sharp edge at the end. So I've tried to incorporate both the locks, but it kind of throws out a wee bit less prominence of the tree. So I then went the opposite way and got a wee bit tighter and closer, and you know, tried to remove locks from the scene completely and then reduced it maybe to one lock with a portrait aspect. So I've done a couple of variations there, mainly on the Sony, because you can, you know, it's digital, you can shoot at will with that. Whereas the digital, the Mamiya film, especially when you're using Santa Re, it's one of my favourite films, and it's, you know, I've only got a couple of rolls left. You know, I'm not quite haphazard with the shutter release, the shutter button with those films. But we'll see. Looking forward to seeing the finished articles of those. Hopefully manage to keep the glass clean of rain. It's always a challenge. But I'm going to head back now and get the kettle on and have a coffee, warm myself up. And I think this weather's in for most of the day, so I can't really imagine too much other photography options. We'll see. It might clear up at Skye, 4 seasons in one day and all that. So yeah, we'll just go with the flow, and I'll have the camera in with me at all times. So if something happens, if it clears up, if there's an option, I'll take a shot. But currently looking at the weather forecast, looks like a day of finding snug cafes, probably heading to Portree, having a wander around there, get some nice coffee, nice food, and just, yeah, taking it all in. See you later. So we decided to come to Birch for lunch. Coffee, lunch, amazing. Read about this place in some of the travel guides that we read up on before we came over to Skye, and this place was highly recommended, and it doesn't disappoint. Really, really amazing coffee and grub. Oh, you'll be able to hear me! It's a bit blowy. There's actually a waterfall over there that's getting blown up. Got drenched on the way here. What a view, eh? Well, our trip comes to an end on Skye. She was really sad, had a great time, it's been absolutely marvellous. Hopefully got some nice photos, did some nice tourists, ate some lovely food and drank some amazing coffee, so all good. So yeah, long drive home now, it'll be like 6 plus 7 hours. So yeah, a long way, so we're going to get on it, but hope you enjoyed all the little vlogs I've done from here, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!